hurry up and cut this camera off. Yeah, no, cause I got my hair, I got my hair twisted up. But hold on, y'all. All right now, hey Poople Stars, it's your girl Shay Renee, and I want to welcome everybody back to my channel and back to a new episode. Now, listen, big night, yeah, big night in boxing, y'all. Oh, hold on, I'm trying to let me get right, like Jesus said. Ooh. Oh yes, y'all. Scoot up in here like a bumper car and hit the like button. Let me tell you something. Y'all make sure y'all don't come cussing in my chat. Yeah. Yeah, no, for real. Don't come cussing in my chat. Period. Um, mm, the truth is, I'm gonna need y'all to keep that cussing to a bare minimum, okay? Cause I done lost my mind tonight. Mm. He is knocked out. But guess what? I ain't mad at it because it took so long for Blueface's fight to even come around the mountain. And yeah, truth is, it took a long time for that fight to come around the mountain. So listen, I was just about to go to bed, y'all. Y'all know. Y'all want the truth? Okay. Y'all gotta be howling over here. Listen, I was just about to go to bed. But y'all know what? honestly, I think it's just something, something about when my house goes super quiet. I mean, like when it's super quiet, it's like, I don't know. I can't explain it. It's almost like, you know how when you is somewhere like work or something like that, and you feel so tired, and then you go home and it's like, well, where's this tiredness at? Because now I got an extra boost of energy. Yeah, no, now I'm scrolling on my cell phone and stuff like that. I got time. Yeah, like a little Rolex, and so like that. That's how it feels when I get a little piece of quietness. I feel like that, you know what I'm saying? Because truth is, I should be on my way to bed, child, but it was like the minute it went quiet, I was like, yeah, no, let me go live, right? I just need to go live, period. Because it is what it is. I feel like we need to talk about Blueface, okay? This is crazy, y'all. For real. Listen to this. Y'all, before we get into it, though, before I get into everything I'm going to say, y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Okay, hold on. I'll be right back. Okay, yeah, because I had to get me something to drink. Yeah, period. Okay, a lot. Oh my God, it's lots to be said. Lots to be said. And oh my God, I should have hashtag boxing. Oh, I love boxing. It's slowly growing on me more and more and more. But y'all know what I was saying though? Tonight, I was telling my babe, I was like, you know what? I wouldn't want our sons to box. Like I wouldn't want none of my sons to box. And I said, oh Lord, don't even get me started on my daughter. But like, no, I just like if my children were boxers, I don't think I could watch them box. I said, now, no, I'm telling you now, I'm the type of parent, I don't think I could sit there and watch that round for round, pound for pound. Uh, no, I could not. But let me say this. I said, now when the fight is over and they tell me that my baby won, then I feel like I could go back and watch the fight. Okay? It just is what it is. But other than that, no, I feel like I will be praying the whole fight. Okay? The whole day on through the night. And, don't call me. Don't call me telling me nothing during the fight. Unless it's an emergency, something bad didn't happen and, I need to, but other than that, I don't think I can handle that. Truth is, I really, really don't. Boxing is a lot, okay? So let's get into it. First of all, congratulations to the winners. Okay, all of the winners. I gotta say that. Let's get that out the way. Listen, it was an interesting night. Really, really interesting. Congratulations to Aiden Ross too, because he put on a really good event. Like really, 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 really good event. And this is the first time that I really, really paid attention to his stuff, y'all. I mean, paid attention for real. Like watched it too. This is the first time. Now I have seen clips from his fights and stuff like that, but no, I've never watched the full thing. Like I literally watched probably down there all those fights tonight. If I'm right, I did, but I could be wrong. But I think I watched every last fight, which Not to mention, he had a lot of fights. He had a lot of fights. I was like, damn, this is a lot of fights. Which is good, right? Because I'm thinking, celebrities, like, come on now. Okay, listen. You know what? This is how I looked at it. I was like, I guess all of those fights is because, um, normally we're gonna see some celebrities, we're gonna see some superstars fighting. Well, he didn't have that. He didn't have that. So it was a smart move to do his event how he did it. Shoot, it seemed like he said to himself, um, although the biggest fight, I mean, the biggest name that I have coming out here is Blueface, right? Um, I'm just gonna basically, you know, drown him with um damn what's the word I'm looking for? Boxing, just a whole lot of fights. Whole lot of fights. So anyway, though, shout out to him and shout out to his event because I really, 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 really think he put on a good event. I do. I was thoroughly impressed, with a lot of it, just all around. Even the comment the commentating was good too. You know what I'm saying? I liked it. I was just super, super, super impressed. Now at times it did get a little ghetto, but like no. Even when they was joking and playful and stuff like that, uh about the boxing part. I like that they didn't just really just go too far, because one of the little boxers, he was like, he lost, but he got up there and he was like, this is serious. You know what I'm saying? Boxing is a serious sport. It seemed like he was like trying to remind them, like, why y'all up here with all this play stuff for real. Um, but yes, really, really, really good night. I gotta admit it. Now let me say this. I hope Blueface really like how can I put it? I just hope that he was compensated. You know what I'm saying? Because overall, and y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. But overall, I really do feel like he was the face of tonight. Does that make sense? I hope it do. But y'all know I'm gonna go further. Period, because that's what I do. Especially for the girls in the back. I want everybody to feel comfortable. Okay? So shout out to that. But like no, he was. Like if it wasn't for Blueface, I wouldn't have even watched that event, wouldn't have even known about it. I wouldn't have had no reason to watch it for real. And I do like boxing. But still, you have to have something to draw the people in. And it was Blueface. It is what it is. It was Blueface. Now, how they got him to agree to that, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Because it's given last minute. It was given that it was a last minute thing for Blueface. Now, could I be wrong and he could have had it on his calendar and schedule for almost forever and a day now? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But it seemed rushed. It did. But again, I hope they really, really took care of him because, you know, he to me he got the party going for real. He got the party started right. Mm, mm. Truth is. Now, um, I know. Hold on, I'm trying to think of everything I want to tell y'all because it's so much stuff that I want to tell y'all. Let me say, what's that man name? The gypsy slash fire dog, hot dog, whatever his name was, the hot the bow man. Um, I don't know. I feel like that should have been a draw, if anything. You know, I definitely think that he was flopping all over like a fish, out of water. You know, for a lot of the fight, and I think that's why they took that fight for him. You know, it just is what it is. He would flop around for so much of the round, and then he would try to pick it up. You know, versus the YT man, he was up there just coming like a damn. Child, he like literally that big fella was stocky like Rocky, okay? Yeah, so like that, and that man, to me, his opponent fought a smart fight, okay? It just is like he was making sure that he was gonna live, okay, to fight another day. Period. I can tell you that right now. Mm. Child, that man looked like a kid was controlling him somewhere. You know what I'm saying? He looked like an action figure, okay? Every round, the whole fight, you know? Even though at times it looked like he wasn't really doing much, you could still tell he was giving it all he got. Like Anita Baker said. I mean, giving the best that he got. My bad. But anyway, so that's how I feel about that one. Uh, but I did feel like the guy did good against the gypsy man. Okay, the man who won the fight. That's that. And then what else? Who else? Okay, so then it was the girl named Jayla, right? The girl fight. Oh, she did her thing. Oh yeah, no, truth is she got out there and she did her thing. So shout out to her. I wanted her to win. I was definitely rooting for her. And then like before she even opened her mouth to say anything, I was like, oh yeah, they need to put her in the ring with Krishan. That's gonna be a good fight. Yeah, truth is, that's gonna be a good fight. I don't think she could whoop Krishan, but I feel like it would be great experience for them both because she's tough. You know, and she's not gonna go down without a fight, and she definitely gonna try to win. So shout out to that. I was definitely happy that she won because she fought really, really hard, but in the end, she started losing a little bit. So I wasn't really that sure about that one. Now, Blueface fight. Okay, hold on. Before we get to Blueface, the other fight where the man caught out your herbo in the end, I said, oh, Lord, take the one and leave the what. Anyway, Adam called the other man out. I said the man had been drinking. And baby, I don't know if that was true. Okay, so y'all know it's alleged over here. But one thing I will say is, yeah, it looked like it. Yeah, truth is, he talking about, hey, Adam talking about, I seen him drunk, last night. And I'm just gonna say, like, yeah, I don't know how much he was drinking or whatnot, but it gave like, yeah, something. Is still involved. Okay, yeah, while he was out there trying to box. Okay, now Blueface fight. Everybody feel like Blueface was kind of robbed. Now I listen. Honestly, in my hearts of our hearts, I think Blueface did really, really good. against his opponent. It just is what it is. He did really good. Now, if saying that he got robbed, I'm not sure about that. Now, that I'm not sure about. But I will say this. I think they played him. Talking about he didn't win none of them rounds. Now I definitely think they played him on that. I think he started out really strong, but I think old boy did begin to pick it up. Another thing that I will say is I think Blueface was the underdog. Okay, it just is what it is. Truth is, he went over there messing with Aiden Ross. Aiden Ross was going for the man who won. Okay, and I just feel like that's what there was. Take the one and leave the what type stuff. It's like what it reminds me of. It reminds me of what I tell y'all all the time in boxing. If you don't literally wear they ass out like a brand new pair of shoes, you're gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? If you're the underdog, it's almost like the best thing I can give you is the latest fight we just saw, the Franchon fight. There's no way that they were gonna give Franchon that fight unless she clear as day whoop that trick for real talk. Like it just is what it is. When you are fighting somebody that has the upper hand, you have to like, man, you feel me? Like 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 fire. You gotta roll all over their ass. You hear me? You got to dive all up. You got to dive all up in they shit. It just is what it is. Okay. And like Blueface didn't do that. He left a lot of room for them to call the fight how they called the fight. And it just is what it is. You cannot do that, okay? But see, one thing about boxing, it just is what it is. One thing about boxing, listen, the truth is, listen, I feel like people be worried about getting knocked out, and when you worried about getting knocked out, that you're just not gonna fight your best fight, and like I feel like I saw a lot of that in Blueface and old boy. It just is what it is. But mainly so in Blueface. He was definitely looking like he respected the sport and wasn't trying to do too much, if that makes sense. But at the end of the day, you have to have a defense and an offense so good where you ain't really worried about getting knocked out like that because you understand timing, okay? Blueface ain't there yet, but the good thing for him is neither is his opponent. Neither was his opponent, okay? Truth is. Because, like, Blueface exposed old boy. Because he ain't as good as people try to make it seem like he is either. Like, he didn't just clear his day, put something on Blueface ass either. He didn't. You know what I'm saying? Because if he did, people wouldn't be saying that they took the fight from Blueface. You know what I'm saying? Like they cheated him out the fight. People wouldn't be saying that. To me, he didn't handle his business like he should either. Now he caught Blueface with some good ones. He did. He caught Blueface a couple of times. Okay. He did. I said, oh shit, go baby, go baby, 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 go. Because she had started taking off a little bit, for him in them later rounds. Truth is, but Blueface, he started off hot. To me, he did good, at least in the first 3 rounds. That's why I said they didn't have to make it seem like the man just dove all on his ass, the whole entire fight. Because that wasn't the case. It really wasn't. I was watching, you know what I'm saying? But when Blueface started to get tired, that's when old boy started picking it up. I feel like that's when old boy's experience as a fighter started kicking in. And he just did a little bit better in the end. Another thing I will say, maybe, just maybe, I don't know. I do not know. Maybe, just maybe, they felt like he landed more punches than Blueface too. Because I seen every now and then he would do this whole da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? This old combination fast shit he would throw, and it didn't look like it was doing nothing at all for real. But wasting everybody's time. But I don't know. It seemed like it was working out in his favor. Now again, favor I do believe he had. It just is what it is. I feel like he had the upper hand, and as long as he went in there and boxed, he was going home with a W tonight. That's what it seemed like to me. It just is what it is. Like I said, Blueface was gonna really have to clear his day, get with him, and to me, he shoulda. He shoulda though. That's the thing though. That's what I was saying. Blueface exposed that boy because I was sitting there thinking like, no, one, that boy is slow. Two, it was times where Blueface was just standing there or weaving or trying to get it together where I was like, nah, a real boxer would have been tagging that ass. It just is what it is. So I'm glad that he, was like, listen, this showed me that, like, I got some work to do. I'm glad he was real about that because, boy, you do. You know what I'm saying? Because had Blueface been just way quicker and, like, let his hands go more, like, yeah, he would have did way better in that fight. Probably would have won it and pulled it off because for me, Blueface just didn't swing enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was bobbing and weaving, and I'm like, okay, I guess that's his defense. Okay, it is what it is. I'd rather him have something than nothing. But when you come back up, you got to be swinging, man. You got to let your hands go. And I noticed when he was sparring with Keyshawn, he don't really throw a jab that much. And a jab is really like the first fundamentals of boxing. Like to me, that's a boxer's go-to. But they don't all do it. Because I noticed when Canelo fought Bud that he don't really throw a jab either. And I had never really noticed that about Canelo. So you mean to tell me he had just been whooping ass and taking names just strictly with all these power punches? And that's what Blueface and that boy was doing. Now the boy, like I said, to me, he just outboxed Blueface, but if Blueface would have had way more training, probably took his training more serious, not been out here playing around and laying around, then I think he would have been a problem for that boy, period, because he not that good, Now he okay. I can't take nothing from him. He definitely know how to throw them things. You know what I'm saying? He know how to throw them, but he's slow. He still got a lot of ways to go. He do. And to me, Blueface was just giving him too much respect. But another thing too, I think that it's one of them things too where it's harder than it looks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, now truth is, I feel like it's harder than it looks. Because like even old boy, I don't think old boy ever went 6 rounds before. I don't think he had. You know? So to me, both of them look like, yeah, like they was playing around and tank them sport. Shit. It just is what it is. Speaking of which, it's crazy how people who, are good at fighting, because I do think Blueface is good at fighting. So shout out to that and shout out to him. I think, honestly, I think he nice. Especially for somebody from Cali. You know, it just is what it is. All my California poop stars like, don't come for me, okay? Don't come for me. But it just is what it is. Like where I'm from, they fight. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Where I'm from, yeah, yeah. What? Yeah. Everybody know that too. Yeah, come down here. Come down here. You can get you some. For real. And it ain't like that everywhere. Trust me. I know what I'm talking about. Like, yes, it's fighters everywhere you go, but like no, some states is just known to get out there. You know, and some states it's just known that like he finna get his ass whooped today. You know, yeah, truth is, and like, mm. And like I don't really know what y'all doing out there in Cali like that. I don't know. I really don't know if y'all names ringing like that. But I know Blueface represents Cali pretty well. You know what I'm saying? Cause he gonna fight, you know, and allegedly he pretty good at fighting. But that's the thing. Fighting and boxing is two different things. And I think Blueface is like learning that more and more and more. Um, it's really sad. It's kind of sad, honestly, to see, you know, when you really, really think about it, it's kind of sad a little bit because, like I said, these people be playing around. It's something that's so serious. Boxing is really serious, you know? So I wonder how some boxers feel about it. You know, I wonder if they feel like, I just wonder if they feel a little disrespected. That like any and everybody feel like they can do it and, you know, all of these events being put on and stuff like that. Like for instance, the people in the boxing world, they probably don't like Aiden like that. They probably don't. Cause he getting some of that bag that he not supposed to be tapping into for real. And it's crazy. It's almost like somebody starting up a league. A basketball league. Kinda like how yeah, they did. How Ice Cube did. And Q say the NBA don't mess with him at all. They don't. The NBA don't mess with Q at all. They be kind of making it hard on him. They, you know, like your competition. Like, no, we don't, you know, um, like you messing up our bag type ish. And so, like, yeah, to me, Blueface and that boy he fought, they just look like people who started late, you know? And it shows. Now, that's not saying that they can't get better or nothing, but that just shows that, like, both of them just started late, you know? Um, but it is what it is. That boy know damn well he didn't just, you know, he got the W, but it ain't no Bud Crawford type of W, you know? Shit. You know. Shit. Uh. Bud Crawford. That's not funny. Bud. Bud be getting the W that's like, good night. You can't argue. You can't fuss. You can't blame the judges. Yeah. You know, it just be like clear as day. Like, no, clear as day. He leaves, he leaves no room for error. No room for error. Like none. I mean, like none. And it's crazy too, because I had got on Bud late. You know, like I didn't get on Bud until he fought Spence. So I was shocked, you know, jaw dropped, feelings hurt. I was like, oh, what the freak just happened? This boy didn't really whoop my boy. Like, somebody help, you know? Because I'm in panic mode. Texas, we gotta hold this L. Oh. I say Nebraska. Yeah. Oh, child, that was not this. You talking about some boy? What? That was a devastating night. Mm. That was a devastating night for us Earl Spence fans, okay? But it just is what it is. And then so here come Canelo and his fans around the mountain. They ass come, and so they had the same thing, same MNF thing. The only thing is, Canelo. He did a little better than my boy. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but still, Bud left no room for error. They could not cheat for Canelo if they wanted to, because they will. Remind you, in my hearts of our hearts, they will. If they can, they will. Okay. But you got to give them something they can work with. And that's what that man did tonight. He gave them a little something that he could work with. For real. They probably had people signaling it in the audience. I don't know how they was getting the signals to him, but he knew that but see, that's the thing. That's why I feel like, his skill set is above Blueface's. Because that's another thing. To me, Blueface was in there just boxing. Does that make sense? Just boxing. Just boxing. Child boxing like a damn UPS worker. Yeah. But no. Like Wayne said, you gotta be timing that shit. Yeah, no, kind of like me and how I do my show. Y'all know I like to start out slow and then speed it up. That's what the hell you gotta be doing in them rounds. Or if you start out fast, you slow down. You got to know when to drop it and when to pick it back up. That's what that boy was doing a little bit. To me, he just picked it up in the later rounds, especially when Blueface started to lose it a little bit. When Blueface got tired, he picked it up. And that's how he was able to win that damn fight. I don't care what nobody say. Now, let's move on. And congratulations to the boy again who won. But I will say this, though. Blueface ass. Let me see. What was I going to say about Blueface? No, Blueface, listen, even though, like, I partially agree with some of the stuff Blueface said, although I don't know, you know what I'm saying, if Blueface is, I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just saying it sounds like it could be true. Whatever he said about Aiden, as a businessman, he got to learn how to control his emotions and not say certain stuff. I just feel like it's a time and a place for everything. And he called Aiden out for whatever, 2 times. He said it when they was in the ring, and then he said something later on, too. He said he will not be back fighting on there again. And ain't nothing wrong with that, But when they asked him that, he could have just said, I don't know. We'll see. And then later on went on to say it however he wanted to say it. But like, just from a business perspective, you gotta know when to hold and when to fold. true story, because it is what it is. If he can't back up what he said, it seems like what's the collie could sue him for what he said. You know, y'all jump in my comments if I'm wrong, but I think so. I mean, I could be wrong though, but it just sounds like he accused him of something, right? Um, and I just don't know if he should have did that. But it is what it is. It's just a little something I had caught, from a business perspective. Like I said, it's not what you do, it's how you do. You have to, you gotta know how to talk now. It is what it is. You gotta know how to talk. You know? It's plenty of ways that he could have said that later on and still got it out there and put it out there. He didn't have to say it right then and there, and he damn sure didn't have to say it the way he said it, which could get him a lawsuit, especially because we know that Aiden has threatened lawsuits in the past. Like who he said he was going to sue? I think he said he was sue Kai Cenat before. I think. Don't quote me though. But again, shout out to him too, because you know, I like what he doing with his brand. He did like a little rebrand to me, and I like it. I like it. So shout out to him. Seems like he's doing a little. Well, not a little. I always say little. I always say that. I hate when I say that, but I always take it back. I do. I always take it right on back. But yeah, it seems like he is doing a rebrand, from the streaming thing. So shout out to that. And shout out to him. We're gonna have to see shoot how it goes. It seems to be really going good for him though. Really, really good. So yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. Because I did hear now somebody did say something about like Florida is the worst place for what he got going. I forgot what they said, but I did hear somebody say that. They said something about, I don't know if it's the judges. I don't know. I don't know. So don't give me the lie. But I definitely heard somebody say that. But again, overall though, tonight, you know, just based off of my opinion, damn good fight. Damn good night. Um, and those were some good fights. I feel like those were some good fights. I said, oh Lord, Blueface, is you fighting somebody that look like they in swimming trunks? That's what it gave. It gave swimming trunks. But shout out to Blueface though for giving that boy um a big fight. It's crazy how it went though, but quiet is kept. Like it's almost like he was the celebrity or something because man, they was spoiling for him. It just is what it is. That he had favor, okay, over that fight. It just is what it is. Aiden and whoever else around him and involved in all of this, that he had favor in that fight. It just is what it is. So it don't matter who he would have fought. He had favor. They was gonna have to clear as day, um, you know, outbox him or put him on his back pockets or something. That would have been good for Blueface too. Like he needed something, cause it just is what it is. Like I'm just using my common sense. He had a lot of favor over there. You can tell. I'll take it a step further. Um, Like I was just saying about Aiden and him having a brand and him rebranding from being a streamer to like doing this boxing stuff. Um, I guess those are his fighters. You know, like I'm assuming he finds guys willing to fight, and I don't know, like some kind of way, um, they're like invested. I don't know. I can't explain it, but it just seems like you know, he had favor over there. It is what it is. And somebody said the Blueface didn't do enough to win, and I kind of agree with that. I do. I kind of agree with that. But if I'm being real, it kind of seemed like, oh boy, didn't either. You know? But I don't know. You know? I don't know. Because I will say he looked like the aggressor, but I know he didn't look like the aggressor the whole time. You know, like in the sixth round, I remember at one point they was far away from each other, and Blueface went over to him and started bringing it to him again with 30 seconds left, you know. After he had already been getting his ass whipped, though. Truth is, because Blueface he lost the sixth round. Yeah, no, I was whoever I was watching the fight with, shout out to him and shout out to his channel. Let me see. Because it's still on. Whoever I was watching the fight with, shout out to him. He did that whole damn thing. When that boy hit Blueface in the sixth round and knocked some out his teeth, who is this? I don't know who this is, y'all. Um, Let me see. Oh man, this is sad. I don't know. I cannot tell. Okay, I guess it's called. Hold on. Okay. So his channel is called Demon Time. I did not want to say that, but it is. That's what the name of his channel is. I want to give his channel a shout out because he streamed the fight and I watched it the whole time on there with him. So his name is his channel is called Demon Time Exotics. But baby, listen, when it came to the point, well, Blueface, well, that boy had hit Blueface and knocked some spit out of his mouth. Oh Lord, the man kept replaying that. Oh. Yeah, truth is, he kept playing it. And he said, forget everybody that didn't like it. Oh, that was funny. But oh yeah, he started playing that a couple of times. And yeah, you know, old boy did get a couple of good, he did. He got a couple of great punches off, you know. Um, in that last round. But like I said, Blueface exposed him. That man, you know, being that he wants to have a career in boxing, and Blueface, we don't know what Blueface is doing, just seemingly, you know, having a good time out here and just living, you know, figuring it out. I would say that, yeah, the man that won, you know, should go back to the drawing board. Like he said, he know what he need to work on. Child. And yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now. From what I saw, yeah, he got work to do. Cause it is what it is. Now, I was telling you right now. I was like, man, somebody that really boxed would have tore his ass up. For real. Cause he a little too slow. He ain't. He know how to throw his hands. And he damn sure know how to I just feel like he was swinging more than Blueface too, you know? He had Blueface beat on that. Even at times, Whack 100 was telling Blueface to let his hands go. Blueface was sitting on his hands too much. If he really wanted to win that fight, he should have swung a little more. But I will say, you know, like I said, boxing is one of those things that to me it look easier than what it is. Shit, it looked like he was trying not to get knocked out. Um, it just is what it is. Trying to be smart. It seemed like he was trying to be smart about it. Which, you know, for somebody with not that much experience, I will say he fought a pretty smart fight, you know. Because I will say this. I think Blueface was a harder opponent than old boy thought he was gonna be, you know. And I do think that one of my favorite sayings is don't let them do what they want to do just how they want to do it. I don't play that shit. I'm a sports girl. Like get up on it. You know I'm a basketball girl first. You know, that's my first love. But I rock with football and basketball and boxing. You know, so. That's one of my favorite things. Like, nah, don't let them do how they want to do when they want to do it. We ain't going for that. And that's one thing that I got to give Blueface. He didn't. He didn't let our boy do how he wanted to do when he wanted to do it, you know? But, and he probably was his best opponent ever to date. But shout out to Blueface, though. Because, he did his thing. But it was so many people. So many people saying happy birthday to Christian. I was like, yeah, that's the, he crazy. He want to go fight on that girl birthday. That's why I said it, I don't know. It just seemed like, you know, that's why I said when this live first started, it was giving rushed, you know. It was not giving, this been finna happen for a long, long time. Because even when, you know, even when Blueface, you know, I mean, even the people in the comments kept saying, I thought he was fighting, Swaggy P. I thought he was fighting Swaggy P. He is fighting Swaggy P still. Shit. I forgot when he fights Swaggy P, but it's not yet. You know? I feel like he got in there, you know? It is what it is. He got in there. I mean, I could be wrong, though, but... Because I know he was supposed to fight. They say he was supposed to fight Ruger at first, but they said no. Or something like that. I don't know if they said no for real, but if you let Aiden tell it, they said no. I think Blueface was a good sport about losing, though. You know, I think he took it really, really well. So shout out to that. You know, he was like, somebody was saying something. He was like, you know, we're gonna let him have his night. da 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 da. You know, um, like I said, I was watching on YouTube, and the person that I was watching channel basically chimed in. Um, hold on, let me think. What are you saying? Hold on. Oh yeah, he had chimed in because yeah, hold on, let me get situated. Let me go over here. Let me sit down, child. Yeah, truth is I ain't sit down so well. Woo! Child, I'm always trying to be up. I always trying to be up. But like I said, I think it's just something about a quiet. Well, I know it is. I love a quiet home. You know, I do. And I think it's one of those things like most parents, when the kids go to bed, yeah, you know, you just want to just relax, you know, and I don't know, just, I don't know, just enjoy that, you know, it is what it is, just, I don't know, I can't explain it, but it's just something about the peace and the quiet for me, you know. And then I take it a step further though. It's something about peace and quiet, and I just make me want to go live too. That's crazy. But anyway, mm, mm. But like I was saying though, the man was basically saying, okay. So later on after the fight, right? He was they were showing Blueface, and so you know at first he was talking to his chat, you know. And like I said, I think that's when he was telling his chat, like, it's all good, you know what I'm saying, chat, we're gonna let him have his night. And he was telling them to pull up to Mr. Jones. My bad, Blueface, if I got that wrong, but he's somewhere in Florida tonight. He's somewhere in Florida tonight, child, at a club. But anyway, so you know at first he talking to his chat, and then you know after that then he started like seemingly watching the fight. The man was like, he watching the fight. And it was funny because the man was like, um he watching the fight and he quiet, you know what I'm saying. He said, so maybe that means like he could see where he started losing at, you know what I'm saying. The man was like, you know, because if he didn't agree, he would be talking ish, you know, but he quiet. And it's just crazy that, you know, the man said that, you know, and I was just watching Blueface and I was like, you know, that might have a little bit of truth to it. Because he watched his phone for a long time. It is what it is. And he did. He watched his phone for a long time. And I was like, dang, it seemed like he finna go round for round. You know, it is what it is. And then finally he said something about the fifth round or something like that. So I don't know if he felt like he won it or he really lost it. I don't know. But he definitely spoke on, you know, the fifth round overall. But I do believe, I do kind of agree with what the guy was saying. The guy was saying that, like, you know, sometimes when you in a fight, it's kind of hard to see where you're losing, you know. Um, but you know, once you watch it back, you get to see it, you know, differently. or whatnot, whatnot. And I don't know. I don't know. Boxing is a great sport. Really, really interesting. But, I will say, I don't know. I just think there's something so special about, the people that, for instance, because y'all see how Floyd Mayweather is with his grandson. Like, that is literally how young these people be starting, you know? And I just think that not all of them have to start that young to be great, but I think most of them did. So I think it's something to be said about these people who try and start later in life. And I'm not knocking it, ain't nothing wrong with it. I mean, look at Krishan. But I feel like the only difference with Krishan is she's a woman, and she won't have, because she just turned 26. That's old to be just starting in boxing, you know. But the good thing about Krishan is, um, she's a woman and she won't have as much competition as men. But still, I just feel like people gotta put some respect, a little bit more respect on boxing. Yeah, I just feel like people gotta put a little bit more respect on it. Just like you feel like you not finna go walk up into most people don't think, even though, they allegedly do walk-ins or try however it used to go in the NBA. The average person don't think they finna walk up into the NBA in their late 20s or early 20s. Or the NFL, or no other sport. So I just feel like it's one of them things where people got to show just a little bit more respect for it. If that makes sense. Cause I said it once, I said it twice, I'ma say it again. I definitely think it's one of those things that like I think the shit is harder than it looks. Yeah, no, truth is. I do. And I think anybody that didn't ever had a regular street fight should know that boxing is a little bit harder than it look. Like, I don't know about y'all, but the last fight I had, I was tired. I got a little tired. And that shit don't even last that long. You know? So it's like, it take a lot of mental prep and physical prepping for that stuff, and I just think that people need to treat it just a little bit more, like maybe this is challenging, just like any other thing. Like, just like any other thing. How many people do you know? Trying to go to the WNBA right now at almost 30. How many people do you know trying to go to the NBA right now at almost 30? The NFL, almost 30. Tennis, almost 30. You know, I just think people, it is what it is. I think they should show a little bit more respect for the sport. Shoot, y'all. We see what happened to Pepper them daughter. Shoot. Child, so that's that. Now I will say this. Blueface has a background in he was an athlete. So he has an athletic background. People with athletic backgrounds tend to do good, like in other sports and stuff like that. Understood. But that don't necessarily mean that Blueface should be boxing. You know? And I remember when he was saying basically that streaming might tank his brand. I don't know. I could see this boxing thing tanking his brand more than anything, you know? Um, I don't know. Unless he winning. He gotta be winning. But I don't know. It's just weird too. It's almost like he just doing any old thing and he got too much going on, at the moment. It's almost giving, the rumors are true. You allegedly broke and you allegedly owe all of these people, and like you just doing whatever you here and there and everywhere to get some money now. Like nothing is really stable. That's what it's giving. And he don't really want that. He don't necessarily want that. But I guess it's a way to incorporate boxing in his brand. But I don't, if that's what you want to do it. But I don't necessarily think that's what he wants to do. It seems like he's like Charleston White and everybody else that's just boxing every now and then for a check. But that doesn't necessarily look good for him. They don't. You know how little baby and some of these people were saying they would charge a crazy amount of money to box? They should. You know? Because even Boosie, I don't even know if Boosie is, I don't even know if Boosie will get, desperate enough to box, for some money. And Boosie will do some things. He will. He didn't perform at a repass, haven't he, before or something like that? Whatever you call it. My bad if I said that wrong. But basically when somebody ain't here no more, they sell it home going. So like Boosie will get the bag. But I think some stuff, you know, when you have a brand, some stuff you just gotta say no to, honestly, and truthfully, and like if I was Blueface's manager, I would tell him to like basically possibly stick to the celebrity boxing. Like that's better for his brand. He don't need to be fighting all these Tom, Dick, and Harrys, all of these nobodies. Like that makes no sense. Hold on, y'all. Oh, my kid is always so loud. Um, but yeah, no, he like no, like Jada Waiter said, don't fuck up the brand. Please don't f up the brand. Like nah, he gonna run it in the brand, and he gonna run it in the ground like that. Messing with Aiden Ross. It just is what it is. Aiden Ross will let him do it too. you know. Because if you ask Aiden Rouse, Blueface probably ain't too good for what Aiden Rouse got going on. But if you ask me, yeah, he is. Yeah, truth is, yeah, he really is. And he don't need to be over there messing with that, period. He don't. Uh, mm-mm. No, he don't. He, like I said, if he gonna be doing that boxing ish, he need to stick to the celebrity side of it. Like that Swaggy P fight, that's a good fight for him. You know, Um, but I don't know. It just depends. If he wanna box, you know, then I don't know, cause it really ain't that bad. It's still, it's still money. It's still a check. If he wanna box, and bring that in, cause it is what it is. Like, this is what I'm realizing. Not with boxers, with people that rap, that money slow down. It is what it is. That money gets slow. Then, not to mention, you have so many people around you that you be having to break bread with. Like, believe it or not, them managers be so intertwined in them people businesses. I see how, like, things be going janky with them too. Like, them people be getting paid. Managers sometimes get paid just as well as them, if not better. Because you always hear about how they be talking about a manager was child rhymes with bobbing them blind, taking them to the cleaners, so to speak, child, stealing, scamming, you know. They say that. They say they be doing that. And honestly, if I'm being real, y'all, I think that you really, really, really gotta have some trustworthy people around you when you dealing with money. It just is what it is. Cause I could see how that ish could get out of hand so fast, and before they know it, you know, they just stealing. And I'll take it a step further. I feel like at some point before you know it, they'll be just stealing. Child, but feel like you can afford it, Like, feel like they ain't doing nothing, doing barely no harm to you, because it's like um, imagine somebody peeling, imagine somebody peeling out 5,000 off of every 30, you know. But imagine, that 30 just coming all the time, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times a day, you know, and a person just at first, they doing right, right. But I think as time go by, right? Don't come for me. Don't come for me, babe, because, like, first of all, I just ain't, this ain't that. Period. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, for real. Um, I could see how it could happen. It just is what it is. Um, yeah. Now, let's say at first everything is everything. Everything is on the up and up. That 30 is getting moved to your account where it needs to, like it needs to. But I could see how a person could start feeling like I do a lot. I am not getting paid is nearly what I should be getting paid. So they might bring that up. you know, they may or may not get more money. You know, um, child, but don't get none. Sure, you know, and like I said, I could just see how eventually they just feel like this is so much money. You know, um, and so I don't know if they be feeling like it's either no way they're gonna get caught or no way that you need it all. You know, in a sense. So, especially again, y'all, again, imagine somebody that is down there poor. You know, because that's that too. I do think that celebrities try to hire people that, not people that are well off. Hell, because if they well off, they wouldn't even need the job from you. But at least got a little something, something, going for themselves or whatnot, whatnot. Even if it's just a good name. Hey, I used to work for such and such. Yeah, I worked for such and such for 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Here's my resume. Yeah, you can call them, type stuff. But like, no. I feel like, too, I think at some point it's easy to start stealing. Shit, I do. Easy to start stealing or scamming or something. Something, something. It is what it is. And like, yeah, being that Blueface is with Wag, like, yeah, I don't know, and I'm not insinuating nothing about Wag, but I'm just saying, it's given, he got a lot going on, you know, it do definitely give, he scraping and scrambling, out here, um, you know, for money or something, where everybody else, not everybody, but most people, even if they in a position of figuring it out, even if they in a position of transitioning or whatever, right? Some people just it's more smooth than that. You know what I'm saying? Like DDG, for instance. DDG is a good example. Um, DDG just he works. He streams and he does music. That's it. That's what he got going on right now. You know. Um he not here, there, everywhere trying to figure it out. But it is what it is. Shout out to Blueface though, because, I definitely think that I think he likes boxing. It is what it is. I think the athlete in him enjoys it. So that's that. That's why I said, like, after I thought about it, it is what it is. If he wanted to have his brand be what it is and box, you know what I'm saying? Like take matches, you know, 3 or 4 times out of a year, so be it. It really ain't that bad. It really ain't that bad. It's really not. It's not. But he just gotta be using his brand smarter. He got to be taking fights that are worth his while. He can't be taking fights just any old will. He can't be fighting in any old back alley. He can't be fighting on people's mattresses and shit. you know, just because he needs some money. You know, it is what it is. He got to, like for instance, whatever he doing with Swaggy P, we know it's legit. You know what I'm saying? Because come on now, Swaggy P attached to it. Swaggy P ain't finna go do no. He not finna involve himself with no bootleg type ish. So like, yeah, Blueface need to be the same way. um about his celebrity to me and his brand. Cause at the end of the day, the truth is he got a brand. You know, shoot, he do. The boy got a brand. Shit, and I know to me that his mama so desperately be trying to keep. You know, that's that too. The mama be like Jada Waiter, don't mess up the brand. Uh, Now I noticed when I was on Instagram tonight, I noticed she was quiet. She's been really quiet. She was making posts, you know, telling Blueface he better win and stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, it was just something about it that just made me feel like Mama was a little worried for her baby, you know. It just is what it is. But she know who she raised. She know her son is tough. You know, she know her son is just about as he's tough. You know what I'm saying? Um, so he'll be okay. And maybe she needed to see him, you know, how he was gonna take it and stuff. To see that he's okay and stuff like that for her to be okay. Like I think she gonna be okay and we'll probably hear from her tomorrow. But child, had he would have won, she would have been in the comments all tonight. And I take it a step further. I think she still wanted to be in the comments tonight. Probably just didn't know what to say. You know, just didn't know what to say. She trying to figure out what she gonna say, and I'm sure she also didn't want to say nothing that would offend him, you know, or hurt his feelings or nothing like that too, you know. So she gotta really watch him out. I just said what it is, but y'all, shout out to them both. That's how I feel about that. Okay, what was stars? But anyway, and then after that, Clarissa takes an L. I told y'all that yesterday. Clarissa is taking an L messing with 50 Cent. And her comes talking about she gonna sue him. Girl, shut up. Put the shut to the damn up. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, like, there's this old school saying that says, don't talk about it, be about it, you know? Just do it. You ain't gotta say it. Just do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it now. You know. That's how it is. Because I remember you said you was going to sue Tasha Kai. I'm like, where's that? You know, I'm just saying, like, girl. They always say that. You know. I feel like they always say that. But I think it's might be steps that you gotta take. Yeah, that's that. But don't quote me because I ain't, you know, never sued nobody. But I'm thinking it's steps that you gotta take. So maybe she taking them because it seemed like she did. I don't know, but it seemed like she might have been telling 50 Cent or asking him to take the post down or something. I don't know. But all I know is she taking a L. Yeah. Yeah, she might not take no L in that ring, but outside of that ring, you know, um, 50 Cent is turning her every which way. It just is what it is. He said, no, no, no. You and him, y'all want to play. You see, y'all want to play? And see, everybody keeps saying that he coming for a woman. He coming for a woman. He coming for a woman. See, I don't really see it like that. I see it like I'm into it with this guy. I have this dirt on his girl. I'm just gonna, I'm a air it out. It is what it is. I'm gonna air this shit out. And it's nothing wrong with that. I don't find anything wrong with that. I think if he has the ability to hurt Papoose, right? By telling Papoose, "Oh, shut up," you know, dummy. You know, she playing you anyway. You know, or you know, whatever. Then I'm like, why not? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with him telling Papoose, you know, what's wrong with him embarrassing Papoose? Because at the end of the day, that's what he's doing. He's embarrassing Papoose, his op that keeps coming for him. But 50 Cent ain't playing with him. Mind you, I keep telling y'all, like, 50 Cent don't rap like that no more. He rap when he want to, but he's not a rapper. Yeah, no. No, he's like, what's his name? Um, shit, I forgot. But yeah, no, he uh he did a rebrand. Yeah, just like I said with Aiden Ross. 50 Cent did a rebrand. You know, he rap, he still gets show money and stuff like that, but he he's more into film and stuff now. You know, television and stuff. I don't think like I just feel like making a diss record ain't gonna be enough. You know, if that makes sense. I think diss tracks are boring to 50 Cent. Like that's not how he like to get his get back now. You know, he like to get his get back a different type of way. Cause he a different type of ninja. You know? If you ask me. You know, so it is what it is. I feel like he plays chess, not checkers at all. He don't play kitty games. 50 Cent play grown folks games. Cause grown folks play games. I don't care. It's just what it is. I don't care what nobody say. Yeah, they do. They do. They play them every day. You know. So, like, with that being said, though, um, yeah, he plays games in a different type of way. And see, that's one thing about beefing. That's one thing about fighting. That's one thing about arguing. I hate that people try to tell you how to do it. You know, how to do it, how far to take it. Like, no, that's none of your business. It's really not. It don't really be nobody business. That's that, you know. But I don't look at 50 Cent coming at Clarissa like 50 Cent coming at Clarissa. You know, like attacking a woman. Now I will say this. As far no, I don't. I don't. Cause I look at it like he getting into it with the dude that she with, it's both of y'all. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's both of y'all. So now I'ma go ahead and expose her and have you looking crazy. You know? It just is what it is. I don't think he really wanted to do her like that. Truth is. But you can tell. Like that was his trump card. You know, it is what it is. That's what he had for Papoose. You know? It ain't his fault. You know, it ain't his fault. Because that was, you know, it is what it is. Like, if I know that my op girl been cheating on him, why would I spare her or him? Like, no, it's up. I'm finna tell that. Yeah. While you running around looking like a clown, yeah. Yes. Okay. She likes, yeah. She be, thought that was the only way she was getting hit in the ring, you know, type ish. Like, it seemed like that's what he wanted to do, you know? And I don't see nothing wrong with that. Sorry, not sorry. I don't know. Um, that's just how I feel about it now. Tiny, on the other hand, it seems weird. Like, what are you getting at? Unless, what? Like, is you gonna do T.I. the same way? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you have some dirt on Tiny? Like, you know, now I'm starting to wonder, for real. Like Stevie, child. I had never even thought about that till I just said it to y'all. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, but like, yeah, do he have something on Tiny? Cause he sure did Clarissa, and you know, Papoose like that. But I don't know. To me, the Tiny thing is a little weird. You know, it is a little weird. But if y'all notice, y'all seen how Tiny been being quiet. Yeah, no. Listen to this. Do y'all see how quiet Tiny has been? Yeah, nah, truth is, I just now thought about it till now. Anyway, let's continue. Uh, you see, ever since 50 Cent and Papoose been getting into it, Clarissa been loud. But again, though, he have been coming at Clarissa. He have. Clarissa said it all started when he came at them unprovoked for New Year's. See, I don't know. And maybe he did Tiny the same way. But the difference between Clarissa and Tiny is Clarissa has been very, 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 very vocal. Tiny's been quiet. Just like, people were asking her, Tiny, how does it feel to watch the whole family throw down behind you? Tiny just been, oh, it feels good. You know, I feel real loved. And yeah, it feels good to know that, you know, the men in my family care about me. You know, type ish. That's it. You know, Tiny been keeping it real, real cute. Real cute. Almost like she knows she dealing with messy boots. You see? Hey, yeah, truth. No. Truth is, you know. But see, Tip, y'all see how Tip been acting though. Tip just been going there. Now, truth is, but he ain't even really been going there. I mean, he was, but he wasn't. You know, T.I. kept getting in the booth and all of this and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, getting his lotto on or whatnot, because he from ATL. But if you notice, there was a difference. It was a difference. I'm thinking 50 Cent and spared Tiny like a tire. Uh, Truth is, that could possibly be what's going on. Like Marvin Gaye had said, oh, what's going on? Child, that's probably what it was. That's probably what that is. Y'all know I'm just, I'm just talking. Or whatnot. But I'm just saying, like, I like to use my common sense, and y'all know me, I'm a forward thinker. I like to think front, back, and side to side. Okay? A shout out to UGK. But, like, no. Truth is, it could be possibly, right? Everybody like, why you coming that tiny? Why you coming that tiny? Got the little boy, you coming that tiny, you coming at my mama. My mama. My mama, my mama, my mama. You know? Whole time, 50 Cent might know something. You know, he might know a little something, something. You see, but Tiny ain't playing. Tiny old school. You know, it is what it is. Tiny a vet. She should be able to dance on water and not get wet. Whatever. I would not be surprised, okay? It is what it is. It's like 50, like, okay, I see what's going on. I'ma spare you because the thing is, 50 Cent, he damn sure got other angles to come at T.I. and her. It just is what it is. He ain't gotta, you know? So that's that. But like, yeah, let me find out, you know? Let me find out. Because it just didn't make no sense. It really don't make no sense. But, child, Claressa is holding that L right now. I don't care what nobody say. She been holding the L. I feel like she talking and Papoose just letting her. Y'all, because it's not funny, but remember when the last time him and Remy got into it, right? The last time Papoose and Remy got into it, Papoose down there did a PowerPoint. No, okay, it is what it is, child. Listen, he had what's it called? Shit, he down there had a presentation for us, okay? He had timelines and things that he wanted addressed, okay, like a postal worker. He got into some things with us that night. And truth is, and with that being said, I feel like Claressa better be careful with that, okay? It just is what it is, because that man listens. That man listens well, okay? Remind you, this is somebody that raps the alphabet. She got to be careful with him, okay? Kind of like Cardi B said, but the man version. But now, all jokes aside, 50 Cent trying to ruin this woman's birthday, you know. And I just said what it is. I said, now, damn, 50. You know, like, he could have let them get through this month. You know what I'm saying? He could have let them get through this month. And then in April, he could have turned it all the way up. Yeah, like Roscoe. Shit. But, 50 Cent is, no, he petty. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. He petty. And he said one by one, these motherfuckers ain't stopping him. You know, it just is what it is. One by one, I feel like they all getting their issue. Shit, like Vogue. But no. So he dealing with Papoose them right now. And yeah, and he got this lady going. She through. You know, it is what it is. Claressa is through right now. She explaining herself for nothing. It's dry. I'm telling you, nobody's listening. You know why? Because like the man said on Menace to Society, you know you didn't fucked up, don't you? She did. She did. She said the first thing that came to her mind. You know what I'm saying? She did. She said the first thing that came to her mind. You know, like, I don't know him. I do not know him. My cousin brought him around me. Girl, you cannot go from that to now having your own TED Talks about it. Girl, it don't work like that. Ain't nobody listening to that shit. Yeah, no, it don't work like that, Miss Preston Curl. You gotta have your story together. Shit. From the rooter to the tutor. Shit. From A to Z. I said, no, 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 baby. Just like that number two. Just like that number two. You gonna have to be on point. I'm telling you now. You got it, like you got to be on point. Like if somebody would say no, that ain't gonna work. Mm-mm. What if he got she just didn't think that one through. She said the first thing that came to her mind, I don't even know him. I don't know this ninja. You went from I don't know this ninja to I ain't never slept with him though to but he was obsessed with me and he mad because I'm with you and now it's this and now it's that and it's like and I just would love to be a fly on the wall because I swear to you, I want to know what Pap is doing right now, you know? Is he mad? Is he acting mad? To me, the way Clarissa is acting, he's acting mad, you know? To me, the way Clarissa is acting, Clarissa might be in Atlanta by herself, and Papoose is like, someone trying to figure it out. You know, listening to her. He watching her lives. And he's taking screenshots of all these messages that him and this her and this man is putting out, child. I said, ooh, chi walla walla, ooh, chi bang bang. It's a lot. Yeah, baby, it's been a lot for somebody that said they don't know. And see, this is my thing. See, at first, it's looking like they quit messing with each other when she started messing with Papoose. That's what it looked like. But then it also looks like their time lap might have, how can I put it? It's like, no, it seems like she was messing with him while she was messing with Papoose, or she was talking to him while she was talking to Papoose, you know? And that's what makes it messy, if that makes sense. Like, because if she was messing with him before Papoose time, then it's not that messy like that. But like, no, I think 50 Cent is trying to expose her for messing with them at the same time. Because like even the boy was saying that he told Clarissa, you begging him for stuff that I'm doing already. That was weird, you know. It was weird. So and then he kept saying something about Clarissa getting caught, you see. So like, okay, now I feel like I'm figuring it out a little bit. I see where everybody going with it. I see what they saying. So in other words, when Remy Ma put them text messages out, Clarissa friend was caught off guard because he was like, oh, she messing with Papoose? You know, and I guess I would assume Clarissa was still talking to him, if that makes sense, you know? Now, if she really quit when damn text messages came out. That's something else, you know, because I did notice he posted a clip of Claressa at an interview with Andre Ward, and I damn sure thought she was messing with Papoose at that time, you know? And like, no, he seemed like he was at the interview with her. So it's almost like, yeah. It's given he's trying to expose that like Claressa had a little friend, basically. You know, that's what it seems like it was given. You know what I'm saying? Now, how how far into the relationship was it? Who knows? Because Claressa did show text messages um, where people were saying, girl, you basically collaborated his whole story. And I forgot what Claressa text messages was saying. To me, Claressa text messages wasn't saying really too much of nothing besides like it seemed like she was trying to curve him a little bit. You know, that's what it was giving. It was giving she was trying to curve him. But then he came right back over the top with messages from her and him to where like she seemed like she was irritated or something like that because he had other stuff going on. Cause he if you let him tell it, the only reason him and Claressa ain't together is because um the only reason him and Claressa ain't together is because he is poly. You know what I'm saying? That's what he say. Now that I think there might be some truth to that, but I also believe another reason why you and Claressa ain't together, boy, is because Papoose went ahead and got serious with Claressa. You know, she was waiting on that. You know, but it seemed like she just wasn't. You know, she wasn't crazy. Shoot, it seemed like she had a little friend. You know, like a lot of people gonna do. It just is what it is. Um, so yeah, you know, but it's given. Pap ended up being like, I'ma end up going to be with Clarissa. I think when Papoose made the decision to be with her, then she was like, oh yeah, you can go ahead about your day. You know, it is what it is. Now I can honestly say, I do think Clarissa was feeling him, this little dude. I do. I think they was okay. You know, they had chemistry and stuff. Like okay, for instance, she posted, one of them posted messages of her saying like, are you gonna, like, when the food gonna be ready? And she was like, about 4 or 5, you know, and then she texted him and was like, the food ready. You know, and people was like, that was on some homeboy, homegirl shit. No, it wasn't. Not to me. You know what I'm saying? Not to me. Like, that's flirty vibes. Ain't no any and everybody pulling up and can come get a plate. Come on now. And then she dropped her location too. Like, she was serious about him coming to get that food. Like, you only do that with people that you like, you know? Um, so I definitely feel like she was feeling him. I absolutely do. Okay. Period. But again, again, I just feel like, Papoose just had a little bit more sauce. Papoose got a little bit more sauce. He had a little bit more juice or whatnot, whatnot. Then I take it a step further. Sometimes it just depends. It depends on the person, but sometimes this can really work. Like if a woman sees, or even a man, it could be a woman or a man, it don't matter. If somebody sees somebody fighting for you, fighting over you, it kind of like makes them want to stick around longer. Does that make sense? Because they be like, damn, well, what's so good about them? I feel like it make them feel that way. And I think they'll stick around even longer to feel like they got the prize, that you're so mad about and you're busting tires over and, you acting a fool over or whatnot, whatnot. So with that being said, when Remy Ma exposed them, it seems like they was just like, F it. And they went ahead and became public and made it official, you know. Um, But who knows? Oh boy, he talking about he poly. Boy, you was out of there then. Cause you wasn't finna get how the hell he thought he was finna get most women, let alone somebody like Clarissa Shields to agree to that. Nah. Nah. But Clarissa definitely liked that boy, okay? It is what it is. Um, and that's that. Somebody talking about T.I. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I think he gonna do it. Honestly, I think he gonna do a documentary about T.I. I think he got the time, he got the resources, shit. He got that studio, and I don't think he playing with T.I. It is what it is. I think it's gonna be interesting to see what he do to them little kids. You know. Cause I feel like he can handle T.I. all day. It's gonna be interesting to see what he can do to King them. Cause it ain't really much you can do to King, right? King don't be doing nothing but being at the little juke joints, you know. Talking about hit that, you know, type. you, it ain't that much. What the hell they gonna do to King? For real. To me, in my honest opinion, King wasn't doing nothing but making it harder on his daddy and his mama, for real. That's just how I feel about it. But at the same time, though, I don't think you're supposed to live your life in fear. So yeah, shout out to the Harris family. It just is what it is. Shout out to the Harris family. And then I take it a step further. Ti has been making money so long. He has. T.I.'s been making money so long. I'm not sure what 50 Cent can really do to T.I. I definitely think that it's some type of pressure that can be applied, though. And I already told y'all how. T.I. is like, he likes to get into movies and stuff like that. I feel like what's the call it has enough pull to like kind of stop that a little bit. It just depends on what the project is and who's over it and all of that. Like, he can't stop everything, but some stuff I think 50 Cent can definitely stop. And I feel like that's what type of businessman he is, and I feel like that's what type of petty man that he can be. Um, but it's gonna be interesting to see. Yeah, let me tell you something. One thing about 50 Cent, he cooking. he cooking and he ain't playing for whatever reason. I feel like he got something big coming. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But just like he didn't want T.I. using him for promo. Oh yeah, truth is, it is what it is. Just like he didn't want T.I. using his name for promo. I feel like he using all of these people for promo. Yeah, for his stuff. Truth is, like this, whatever he got, power and everything else. It's just it's all he using it all, for his good, for real. He turning it around. Just like when he rapped about Tiny in his new Power song coming up. People was like, that was genius. Like that. And I feel like it's more of that to come. More of that to come. I feel like he's strategizing. It just is what it is. Truth is, I think he's definitely strategizing. But I will say this. I think T.I. and his family, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. You want the truth, you gotta be able to handle it. I'm for real. I think T.I. and his family, like they really put themselves on his op list, if that makes sense. Like, no, like it's almost like I can't stand some of these other people, but now you up there with them, and that's crazy. Yeah, no, truth is, that's crazy. I'll take it a step further. It's almost like for instance, I think 50 don't mess with Big Meech them. You know what I'm saying? People like that. But I think T.I. might have shot above them. you know? Yeah, it is what it is. Like, no, I think they were able to get under his skin for real and like really just become some ops. And I just feel like he don't really play fair. And I think that the type of beef that they was preparing for isn't the type of beef that he coming with. If that makes sense. It just is what it is. And people don't be paying attention. They don't. Like, that's annoying. That's one thing that's really, really annoying. I had noticed that this matter of fact, it was Neek. Neek at Night on YouTube. Shout out to her. Shout out to her channel. But I follow Neek on Instagram. And I noticed that she had said on one of the blogs, she was like, I don't know what it was about, but I just noticed she had made a comment and she was like, oh my God, it's always giving slow in the comments, And I was like, oh Lord, you ain't never lying, Damn. I'm with you when you're right, because it do be. Shoot, it do be most times. It's like, I don't know. It's like either, but then too, I think everybody don't be paying attention like that, if that makes sense. But it's like, people keep saying, what you gonna do about King? What you gonna do about King? Damn, didn't he tell y'all he gonna handle King? Didn't he tell y'all, give him a minute? He working on some shit. Like, it is what it is. Like, they want, but it is what it is, child. This new generation, they want everything fast. That's how Little Caesars came up. Remember? Child, I never forget. Little Caesars was so hot when we was kids. Hot. Then they went away and then they just came back came back out the blue. After, 50, 11 years, child, they just popped back up with $5 pieces. And they let them. Talking about some hot and ready. Child. Yeah, so this generation, child, they like everything fast, hot, and ready. If it's this and now, it takes time for greatness, and honestly, yeah, it do. And he didn't say that. I'm saying that. But it do. Sometimes it do take time for greatness. And I'll take it a step further. Sometimes when you cooking up something for real, it takes time for that too. Sure. Like how he had kind of like how he had kept saying he was gonna do something with Diddy. Man, he kept talking about Diddy. He was talking about Diddy before Diddy even went to jail. um so I'm like, I don't know. He talking about what he say? He said something about I forgot how he said it, but he basically he called T.I. them the Cosbys. He basically said, I got something for them. Just hold on. He said, everybody wait they turn. Yeah. He said, this shit is like a steering wheel. Everybody getting a turn. I wouldn't be surprised if he come for the man in Friday, child. Big Worm, because Big Worm been picking. He really have. He been picking at 50 Cent a lot lately, trying to get his attention, trying to get him in a boxing ring. Child, hush, Big Worm. Did you not see Benzino trying to get him in a ring? In the ring? No, I don't think they gonna do that. I think they just like South Walker. South Walker said no. He said he'd rather keep his the bums that he beefing with, he rather see him with crumbs than to help him out by letting him win some money in a boxing match. He'll box him for free. I'm saying that's petty. Man, that is petty on a whole nother level. Do you hear me? I said a whole nother level. That's what's up. When you just don't need the money. I said, well, you just don't need the money. You know, and like it's clear as day. These folks trying to get a ring with 50. They must need the money. I'll take it a step further. T.I. wanting to do a versus. He must need the money. And that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? That's my boy. I like T.I., man. I do. And I like 50 Cent. I like them both so much. I hate they going through what they going through, but it is what it is. I do not choose sides. I try to report on my news as non-biased as I can. You know, truth is I hate being biased. But sometimes if I am, at least I want to keep it real with my audience and say, well, damn it, I'm biased, you know. But in this situation, I'm not taking nobody's side. I feel like T.I. is wrong and 50 Cent is right. That's how I feel. 50 Cent told that man, no, no, no. Damn it. Like Lil Wayne said, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't know how that shit got out of hand. Baby, like math, it got out of proportion. Okay? And like, so here we are, here we are. But at the end of the day, I do not feel sorry for nobody in T.I. family because he started it. He started it. So whatever, you know, whatever, shoot. Just don't hurt nobody, you know. Truth is, and like, yeah, let's rock. Let 15 handle it however he decide to handle it, baby. But the way he is handling Clarissa Shields is like so freaking crazy and funny to me because it's like, yeah, like, yeah, learn to leave people alone. And most importantly, I think Papoose is so embarrassed. I do. I think it's embarrassing, because at first he tried to say, uh, at first he tried to say that 50 Cent was lying, but I think he only said that before he had all of the bits and the pieces. Cause now he been somewhat quiet. Lord, I hope it ain't another mixtape dropping, but child, I think he mad. Yeah, now truth is, if you just sit back and you listen to everything that's going on for real, y'all, it's giving Clarissa. It's giving Clarissa might have been two-timing him. But I say the only problem is it's given like it was in the beginning. It's given they was in the beginning stages when they wasn't really serious like that, when Pat really haven't chose her like that. And that's all she really got to run with. It's also giving that girl is the breadwinner. Shoot, they still new, but they kind of in deep already, and I don't think Papoose gonna go nowhere. I don't. I don't. I just think that he embarrassed. I think he embarrassed, and I think it's embarrassing AF. But I don't think he leaving her though. I don't think he leaving her, and I damn sure could see him and her trying to come with a narrative like that boy lying on her, you know, and they never messed around and da 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 and da 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 da. Cause I'm gonna tell you like this too, um, it's like Clarissa is being forced to have to tell the truth about stuff, if that makes sense. So, in other words, everything she admitting to, she being made to have to admit to. So like if that boy don't come with no more footage and stuff I got, Clarissa and Papoose will be able to paint the narrative like he lying on her or something. Which you can already tell. She is, which you can already tell she is giving that. Uh-oh. Oh my shit. Come on. Oh shit. Child. Oh, Jesus. Man, I'm gonna start messing with my stuff in the dark. Child was finna get mad if it kept doing that ish. I don't know, I had time for that. But anyway, y'all, yes, y'all. Oh my God. That ish was too much. But if y'all notice, what's the kind of been saying? I am the algorithm. I'm like, oh my God. Yep, they done got 50 Cent started. It just is what it is. And he funny. He funny, child. He is. He funny in his own way. I thought Rick Ross was funny. And Rick Ross is pretty funny. But 50 Cent is too. And I like how Rick Ross then kind of like got out the way. I kind of like how he didn't got out the way. But now I forgot he was being messy with 50 Cent just recently. Talking about he won one of them shirts King had with 50 Cent mama on it. They all too disrespectful, if you ask me. So, if you ask me, whatever he come with is whatever he come with. I don't want to hear it. Yeah, nah, I don't be trying to hear that. I'm not the type of person that's gonna say, well, you did da 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 da, but he only did now, but he only shouldn't have did shit. You know. Yeah. Truth is, and then not to mention like 50 Cent is one person. That's not funny, but for real, he is one person. Okay, get into it with all of these people. Like, I don't care, even for the toughest person, that can't feel good. But then at the same time, I think it's people that he not really fond of like that, you know? Like, for instance, T.I. was saying that he lost respect for 50 Cent. And I was thinking, T.I., I don't know how much respect 50 ever had for you. After all of this, because it was like T.I., it was like 50 Cent couldn't even call T.I. and just say, man, hey man, you know I got a lot of love and respect for you, you know? And what you done did throughout the years, but respectfully, no, you know? It just was ugly. It was real ugly. And I'm the type of person, like, I tell y'all all the time, I pay attention to stuff. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. I'm the type of person, I pay attention to everything. I haven't necessarily ever seen T.I. and 50 Cent around each other. Not saying they never been around each other, but like, you know, like y'all know who else I get a vibe about? Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to kick it with y'all and eat. I'm hungry. I have always got this bad vibe about Nicki Minaj and T.I. Like, I don't think Nicki messed with T.I. You know, I could be wrong, but I don't think she do. And like a lot of people that Nicki Minaj on there with, they kind of be common with 50 Cent. So I wouldn't be surprised if Nicki Minaj or 50 Cent really don't mess with T.I. Now, for whatever reason, I don't know. Now, I will say this. Remember, T.I. Iggy used to be signed to T.I. Remember, Nicki really wasn't that fond of Iggy. Maybe that's what it is, right there. But with 50 Cent, I don't know, you know? I'm gonna say it like this. If 50 Cent don't mess with T.I., and ain't never really messed with T.I., that's another reason T.I. shouldn't have never been asking for that verses. You know, it's again, y'all. It don't really make a lot of sense. It don't. I don't know it. And it could be because, hold on. Um, and that's another thing too. It could be not even Ti. It could be he didn't mess with Swiss Beats. Could be he don't mess with um Timberland like that. You know, like who knows? But I'm gonna tell you like this: Jay Z sees himself as somebody that's too big for a verses. When he got asked about it, he let it be known. He was like, "No, ain't can't nobody share the stage with me for real." And like it seems like that's the same vibe 50 Cent was on a little bit. It do. It seems like
Wayne might have been on that vibe before. I can't remember. So don't quote me. But you gotta understand, some people, hold on. Listen, let me say this. Some people, just like I was saying earlier when this live first started, when we was talking about Blueface, like when you have a brand, you have to do things that are beneficial to your brand, and they have to make sense for it, you know? And so like Jay-Z don't see how Versus is beneficial to his brand. He didn't see how doing a collab with them was gonna is good for him. Period. So he passed. And I could see, other people following pursuit. I could see other people feeling that way too. And it just is what it is. If they feel that way or they do something like that, then what do you do? It's nothing you really can do. You just move on. And one thing I can say, I think he was kind of respectful in the beginning. I do think he was cocky. I think he said something just as cocky as Jay-Z a little bit, but it is what it is. I feel like T.I. should have did what Usher said. Let it burn. Let it burn. Move on. Go find somebody else. Because at the end of the day, this is what it boils down to. Some people think it's not beneficial. Others think it makes sense. See, T.I. is an artist who is willing to do a verses. He just got to find somebody to do it with. Ain't nothing wrong with that, you know, to me. But go find somebody. I don't know. Honestly, y'all, I don't know how it got disrespectful or why it got disrespectful, but I will say that, to me, T.I.'s not dumb. He's not dumb. So, honestly, I don't know, y'all. If I'm being real, I don't know. I don't know. Cause I was finna say he's not dumb. So to me, we should be able to ask T.I. straight up and down, like, what's up? Why do 50 mess with you? Do you mess with him? Like, have it ever been any bad blood throughout the years? Have it ever been weird? And he tell us yes or no. And if he say no, then I just feel like it probably has something to do with the versus people then. But I feel like he's saying no as respectfully as he can the first time. Then once T.I. kept bugging and pressing, it is what it is. Like, he handled them rough. He did. He handled them rough. That's why I'm like, what kind of? And honestly, if I'm being real, I don't think T.I. and 50 Cent had no relationship like that. Like, no, maybe it wasn't no bad blood, but maybe it was nothing. Like, nothing, literally nothing? And honestly, I think 50 Cent was like, keep it like that. Some people are like, because I'm like that. I am. I promise you, I'm an energy type of person. So I might miss out on a great opportunity. I might miss out on a great relationship simply because. how you were in the beginning. You know, if you're a certain way in the beginning, I adapt to that. And like that's the energy that I have for you now. That's the energy that we give. You understand? Like you chose it. But no, don't think you get to choose another one now and I'm just gonna follow pursuit for that. No. It usually don't work that way with me, you know. I am a keep that energy kind of person. You know, it is what it is. That's why you gotta know that you know that you know with me. Cause it's really I'm not lying, it'd be really hard to like go back, if that makes sense. Now we can move forward, yeah, because I'm about that. I'm gonna do that anyway. Yeah. So it's up to you how, you know, um well, it's really not that up to you. But like we can move forward, but forward will be different. Don't look for how I used to be in the past, because that'll never happen. She is never coming back. You don't get to experience that again. Shit, I lost it. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't even know how to go back to that. You know what I'm saying? Cause we here now. Okay, so I'm definitely keep that same energy type of person, and like I'm not the only one. Some people are like that. Some people are just like that, and so that's that too. 50 Cent probably is on that kind of energy with T.I. Like, no, I don't want to get a dime with you or a penny with you. You know, we ain't never, and let's keep it like that type ish. Honestly, I don't know what the issue could be between 50 and T.I., but it was issue enough, and I just feel like, yeah, that shit went further than it should have, if you ask me. It did. It went further than it should have. Um, and I just feel like, I don't know how, I don't know when, but what's it called? In my heart of my hearts, I feel like 15 gonna apply some type of pressure, as much pressure as he can. And I take it a step further. To me, it wouldn't even matter to 50 Cent. To me, he just wanna he cool too, as long as he can monetize off of it too. You know? That's that too. He probably wanna monetize it and shit. Then it don't matter no more. Um in other words, do what T.I. and his family wanted to do. Yeah, it's still what it is. Well, not necessarily T.I. so much, but them boys for sure. Child, them kids was really hoping to come up you know, you know, they T.I. kids or whatnot, but to me they are still like, I don't know if that's necessarily the right word, but to me, and this is my opinion, so I shouldn't have to say allegedly. But no, I shouldn't, because it's just an opinion. I'm not saying it like it's actual and factual, but to me, they are seemingly uh, struggling artists. It is what it is. They are just like any other body else out here trying to put their music out there. Like, I think they use T.I.'s name, but that's about it, if that makes sense. Like, that's my dad. I'm sure whatever that gets them, it gets them. But I can tell you what it doesn't get them. It doesn't get them automatic fans. It doesn't. Because see, there will be people that's gonna follow them that was already following them, okay, because they TI kids. So in other words, I just like you, or I just like your family. So I'm just following, just following, just to follow. But converting them over into fans of their music is something totally different, okay? And I don't think that they have completed that mission, so to speak. So them kids are struggling artists. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. Um, so they're no different than somebody on TikTok that makes music. They were trying to use the viral moment to shine light on their music. It is what it is, on their talents. And let's be real, I don't think that did that much for them. I don't. It's like King won what exactly? An argument with 50 Cent? Like, I'm trying to see what everybody was feeling like. I mean, because it just is what it is. Some people aren't good at arguing, and that's okay. I had somebody tell me that one time, love her with all my soul. Lord knows I do. And but she was a really good fighter. A really great fighter. Some people just, don't know what to do in no argument. Hell yeah. And truth is she just so happened to be the same sign as 50 Cent. So there that is. But yeah, he might not want to do all that back and forth. I feel like he like to argue and fight in a different type of way. You know, so it is what it is. Um, but no, I don't know. I feel like he got something for them. I do. And I'll take it a step further. He might be a little better at the game too, because he might been doing it. It just is what it is. Okay, so like this prime example. Remember when he got into it with Lameech? And Lameech was like something about the next season, and Pixie was like, "What season?" You know what I'm saying? That's not funny, but I'm just saying for real. You see, you see. So basically, see how he brought Lil Meech around. Now we don't see Lil Meech no more. Why is that? Like, why is that? What Lil Meech got going on? Now, I will say this. It could be a Lil Meech thing. But I think it's a them thing. I think it's both of them. You know, not just Lil Meech. When I say I think it's a Lil Meech thing, I definitely think Lil Meech be somewhere like depressed or something. I do. I think Lil Meech be somewhere messed up about it. Like, his rise to fame was like he was one of the ones. Does that make sense? Like, no, they made Meech a star. It is what it is. They made Meech a star fast. Kind of reminds me of that other boy. No, and it's sad too. It's sad because do y'all remember? No, that is really sad when you think about it. Y'all remember 50 Cent used to beef with the people that had that show? Oh, God. Remember the show with Cookie on it? with the lady who played Cookie, and he played Lucius, and that show, I cannot think of the name of that show though, cause I never watched it. I didn't. I didn't. I didn't. I seen a little bit of it, but I never watched that show ever. But that boy Brashear, the one who is in the industry right now, but he ain't in the industry no more because he lost his mind. Remember, but they made him a star. Remember, 50 Cent used to beef with them people. He used to kind of like put his show up against theirs and stuff, and make it like a little friendly competition thing. I cannot think of the name of the Lee Daniels show that he made. But same thing. They built both of them boys up to be stars and then just tore them back down. I can't imagine how hard that is. Like when you can't just go work at the local AutoZone, you know. Yeah. Cause I think that's what it is. I think it's so hard. And somebody just said that. Who said that? Oh, I forgot his name. I cannot think of his name. Dang, but he playing a lot of movies, y'all. My bad, I cannot think of his name. I think his real name is Jason. His real name might be Jason Wheeler or something like that. But I could be wrong. But he's in a lot of movies. So shout out to that and shout out to him. But he was just talking about how, people think sometimes when you're on TV, you just got all this money. And it's not like that. But the truth is, people think that. So I think that instead of them showing us something different, I think they go into hiding, most times, truth is. I think they go into a very depressive state and they end up being somewhere hidden, and broke and poor and just going through it, almost like a hermit. They don't come outside and stuff like that for real, because I think it's hard for them to work regular jobs after being considered superstars and stuff like that. I just think it's so hard and damaging to the mind, if I'm being real, in your mental health. So, dang, I forgot what I was telling y'all. But yeah, I know I get that vibe that, it definitely be hard for them, you know, to just go back to being regular degular. So I think they be hiding from people, y'all. Uh be somewhere broke than a bitch, till that phone call come through. And like I really get, I get that vibe from Lil Meat Chill. And so anyway, yeah, 50 Cent like that, 50 Cent has the ability to like that. It could just be over. Can you imagine? Like that is such a high, and that's why y'all. I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna get out of here. I could definitely see how that's why a lot of people like. I don't know. I can't explain it, but I think that's how a lot of people like get tricked in Hollywood. Does that make sense? Cause it's almost like to me, you gotta say yes, 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 yes. You have to say yes to every single thing. And I don't even think that 100%, um, is like the answer, right, to being okay when it comes to Hollywood. But I think that's how they don't get canceled, if that makes sense. So, like, in other words, whatever 50 Cent and Lil Meech got into it about, if he would have just played his part, that's what he needed to do. He needed to play his part, right? Until it's all said and done. Walk away. Okay, love you, 50. Yeah, you my boy. Love you. See you next time. I can't wait to do something different. Kind of like how Ghost did, right? If Ghost did. I don't know. Because I don't never see Ghost. You just don't know. You always know by what these people be doing later on, if you ask me, child. Uh, uh, truth is, but it seems like if you just be a yes man or a yes woman, things work out for you better, you know. And then I take it a step further. I think it's other ways that they be like, um, like, I think it's loopholes. Does that make sense? Like, for instance, I told y'all with Rihanna, I think Riri keep having all them kids kind of because it's like stopping her from having to go back to work and make music. I think that's kind of what it is or something like that, you know? I think it's like a loophole to working. I do. I honestly do. It's almost like she's on a long maternity leave. I could be wrong, but it just seems like that's a strategy for her and what Cardi B was doing too. I'm telling you, I could be wrong, and I guess we'll see now whenever she stop having kids, we'll see. Like, see, I want to see her stop having kids and go 4, 5 years without an album. Like, I don't know, you know. It's given as long as you're pregnant, you don't have to tour. But the minute you're not pregnant, you're going back on tour, you know, type stuff. I don't know, y'all. But it be seeming like these people be on the hook for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. And the minute that you say no, they'll just call their friends. And yeah, she out. She out. So don't do nothing with her. Don't deal with her. Because, like, for instance, Lamech should be at least on Country Wayne. Yeah, no, let's talk about it. Lamech should at least be in Atlanta on the Country Wayne skit. You know? But, like, you can't find no work. You ain't even on Tubi. Yeah, I don't know. That might be a both of them thing. You know, that might be a both of them thing. Because Lamech probably can get jobs that he probably really kind of denying. Or he just not applying for. Or, you know. Because to me, Lamech should at least be able to be on Tubi right now. You know, it just is what it is. But I don't know what he doing with himself. Shoot, it seems like he don't know what to do without 50. But I'm not stupid either. I'm not dumb. It also seems like one, he don't know what to do without 50 because he didn't learn enough. You know, he's still too green. But also too, I'm not stupid. You know, it's probably hard to do anything without 50. Sure, it just is what it is because, again, it seems like in Hollywood, when you do business with somebody, you got to do good business. So when you go to the next place, you got that green light to go to the next place. Does that make sense? And that's what I was saying about Ghost. I don't know about y'all, but I don't never see Ghost no more. So to me, that's how we know. Shoot, that's how you know. If somebody is still good with somebody or not. Like, that's how you know. Because remember, Ghost was on being Mary Jane. he seemingly left being Mary Jane for power. Okay? So he had a good working relationship before he left being Mary Jane. He also was in a movie before being Mary Jane. So like he was working. If he not working right now, that's kind of telling. That would be kind of telling, but not really though, y'all, because that's another thing I've been wanting to talk to y'all about. Y'all know I tell y'all all the time, TV is in the dumps. And it is. I tell y'all that. It is. I tell y'all that because it's changing. You know, I tell y'all that because maybe it will motivate y'all too, to like, kind of like put y'all bid in, step up to the plate, see what y'all got, Me, I definitely feel like I be having some ideas, but girl, listen, Pooper Stars, listen, if I was to get a knock on the door tomorrow, I might be like, well, damn, how many days y'all got, you know what I'm saying? Hell, no, truth is, because I don't think listen, I have ideas. I do, but they not necessarily like, I don't know. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day, but it doesn't matter. In other words, we just talk about how much TV has changed. And it is. It's changing right now, y'all. It is. Have y'all seen all these shows getting canceled? Let's start there. And shout out to Armand too, because he ended up speaking about this on his channel, and I loved his take on it, because I just liked what he was saying. So shout out to that and shout out to him. But like, no, y'all know I talk about that all the time. I do. Shoot. Because like I said, I be trying to get TV to realize that, like, hey, y'all be playing like, first of all, y'all be playing. It's too much playing going on. And not enough hiring. Yeah, it's not enough hiring and firing going on. Truth is, if you ask me, I feel like y'all be gatekeeping, quick gatekeeping. And then, maybe some things will begin, you know, uh, to happen, or whatnot, whatnot. It just is what it is. But like, I don't know. I also look at it too. Maybe it's one of them things, right? That looks easier than what it is, child. you know. Truth is. But I can tell you right now, if like, let's say I got a knock on the door tomorrow. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. That was like, okay, here's your own network. Let me see what you can do with it. Let me see. Ugh, that'll be so scary, but I just go to work. I would ultimately go to work on every idea that I ever probably once had. And if it seems good enough, I would just, I will put it out there. It is what it is. Like, what more else could, I do? But I definitely feel like, within a certain amount of time, I would have some damn ideas. It is what it is. I bet you that. I bet you that. You know, Shoot. Oh yeah, Miss Preston Curl, I'd have been and had all kinds of, and I'll take it a step further. Yeah, cause that's what I do. I have it organized. Here's some daytime ideas, and here's some nighttime. So shout out to that. But like, in my personal opinion, that's what TV is missing. Now, could I be wrong? Absolutely. I part of me do think I'm 100% wrong. Well, not 100%. No, 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 no. Hell no. I take that back. A part of me do feel like that I'm could be possibly wrong because I don't think that maybe that's all that it's gonna take to save something that's, already like on its way out. Remind you, TV has changed so much. It has, and so much stuff they messed up on. Like for instance, I'm the type of person, I don't watch the news anymore, but I think I'll quit watching the news because they took it away from regular TV. Like, I don't know where y'all live, but like where I grew up, there was always something called regular TV, right? And regular TV was always like no more than 7 channels, okay? And regular TV was for people who didn't have cable, basically, but there was still regular TV available. It was shows on there, but to me, it was mainly for to get the news out. To me, that's what it was for. And so like I've been not having cable. So I'm the type of person when cable went out, I depended on regular TV. I needed regular TV when I stopped paying for cable. But them regular TV people, child, they was like, no, you gotta get an antenna. I think that's what they did. I think that was the first thing they did. Oh, no, no, I'll never forget. Child, they said an antenna and this thing called a converter box. I said a converter box. I got one, but it looked ugly. It had a little ugly look. Y'all hit the like button. It wasn't that appealing. Yeah, truth is. Type ish. And so I don't know what happened to the converter box, but I just know it didn't last that long. Like it didn't last that long at all. It was not a thing that long, at least not in my house, for regular TV. So, but again, it would have been only for the news for me. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily for Jerry Springer or Mario, nothing like that, but they was gonna come on too, the CW child. But they did away with that. So you mean to tell me you made it hard for people to get the news, like what's going on in the world and what the weather gonna be like today? Cause remind you, like I grew up with the news. I grew up watching my grandparents get ready for work with the news on. You know, it just is what it is. The news was a big deal. And so, like, when they took away the freeway to get the news, like the most important thing that you can watch for real, all that other BS aside, to me, TV changed. It did. It really changed. And so then you had cable still hanging in there. Cable was expensive, I remember. It just started to not be a thing like that. And then I remember the Fire Stick came out. Y'all remember the Fire Stick? Child, listen, I know I'm going, but it is what it is. And so all of that brings us to where we are today. And I said all that to say, somebody said that streaming kind of basically ended TV, and I kind of agree with that. It just is what it is. Mm-hmm. Mm. And I'll take it a step further. I always say that a lot of creative people could turn that around, and I think they possibly could have, had they would have just listened to us a bit. I think there's some truth to that. But I also think that it was just something that was on its way out. Does that make sense? Because technology is always evolving. And I don't know what was going on with TV, but even TV had got really weird. Y'all remember that? Like even with cable, even when cable was around. certain channels started tripping with the network, so they said, well, we not. So then you could have cable, but you wouldn't have BET. You know what I'm saying? You could have cable, but you wouldn't have Oxygen. You can have cable, but you wouldn't have VH1. Like all of these channels started pulling out from cable. Charlie got so weird. Okay. Again, bringing us to where we are today. TV is extremely weird. And if you ask me, the cell phone, it was the cell phone. When the cell phone and social media took off the way it did, that is what really got us away from the television. Truth is. But y'all, I want to hear from y'all. I want to know, what do y'all watch? What apps are y'all on for real? I'm on YouTube. I am a YouTube girl. I watch a lot of YouTube, and when I get tired of YouTube, right, I go to Netflix. Now, every now and then, I think Netflix is a waste of my money. Truth is, I do, because we don't watch it like that. We don't. But I will say this: I will not cancel them. At least not right now, because every now and then I do get tired of YouTube. And so I do, la di da di da di da, drift on over to Netflix. Now, I will say this about Netflix: Netflix does seem like a waste of money, okay, sometimes, okay? Because it just doesn't have, to me, that much great stuff to look at. It is what it is. But again, sometimes I feel so bad because I look at a lot of stuff, right? That looks good, looks interesting. Why I don't want to click on it and watch it, do not know. Do not know. I just feel like we're living in a different time. I seen this lady say Netflix is kind of like her background noise, and I agree. I agree. I agree with that 100%. What are y'all talking about? Hit the like button. What are you talking about? Fake? Y'all ain't nothing fake about me, okay? Nothing. So shout out to that. But like, no, y'all, for real. We living in some times, okay? We are. We living through some really, really, really weird times, and I don't know what they gonna do next. Truth is, I don't know what gonna do, because this is the thing. I'm looking for an app. Well, I'm not looking for an app, but I would prefer an app like Netflix, if that makes sense. Because I will say this: that is where Netflix got a lot of things. Well, maybe that might be where they have one up on YouTube. Does that make sense? Um, but to me, Netflix got to get some better shows. It is what it is. They got to get some better shows. It is what it is. They do. They gotta step it up. But the fact that, like, y'all know how they copycat. Well, y'all know how they put Pop the Balloon on Netflix. See, that lets me know that they are in our. They're in our neighborhoods, y'all. Yeah, no, truth is, it just is what it is. They in our neighborhood, okay? So it's a good idea to stay live, stay creative, stay vibrant, stay up to date, keep your stuff fresh, and keep working, be consistent, cause like I said, these people are in our neighborhood. It is what it is, because they looking. They definitely looking. They trying to see what's getting the attention, because they know that, like, man, listen, this thing we call TV is really dying down. It is. It's really dying down. And y'all see all this stuff coming out for TV. Like, all of these shows getting canceled. There's so many of them. The BET, I think the app, whatever little app they had, bought out by Paramount. Things are getting bought out, and that's another thing too. Child, y'all don't be so quick to, does that make sense? Cause okay, for instance, like the NFL. Okay, to me the NFL is a good example. Y'all know how long the NFL been around. The NFL been around all these years. They've been dropping they nuts on us. So in other words, if they start talking about, we got da 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 for sale, good. Who gonna buy it? Like I wouldn't be so quick to buy that. If that makes sense, hell. It's the reason it's for sale now. It's for sale now because it done made all the money it's gonna make for real. Leave that there alone. Leave that there alone. That's why it's for sale. You gotta really be careful with this stuff. I'm starting to notice. Yeah, no, truth is, do not be so quick to run and, you know, almost like, y'all know what else that reminds me of? Uh, hold on, cause they be doing that. They do it with that, and it's something else. Hold on. Yeah, no. Truth is, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. You got to be smart. Oh, yeah. You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of Red Lobster. You know, truth is, like I don't like Red Lobster is on its last leg, crab leg now. You know, mm, mm. Because I ain't even barely promoting lobsters out there being no more. Truth is, but it used to be the shit. Oh, it used to be the shit. You remember Red Lobster? Red Lobster used to be like a fancy restaurant. When I was a kid, we looked at it like a fancy restaurant, and we was excited when we went there. And we felt like we was balling. Okay, we all ate. We all went as a family. It just is what it is. But let me tell you something, old baby, how times have changed, and just it just is what it is. And so, I feel like they tried to revive it with us. Y'all saw that? Did y'all see the whole child? And I didn't go. And I said I just didn't go. I didn't. So shout out to that. And shout out to the ones who did though. But I didn't. I did not participate in that at all. Okay. No, I didn't. It is what it is. And so not for no particular reason in general, but like for no particular reason in general. Does that make sense? Like I don't ever buy seafood boils. I never buy seafood boils. I went one time to a seafood boil place and I was gonna get one, but something wasn't right. I can't remember what it was. I think I didn't like the sauce or I can't remember, but I just didn't get it. So like when I want a seafood boil, I just make one at home. You know what I'm saying? I have it homemade. I never ever go to restaurants for them. You know what I'm saying? So that's out of the ordinary for me anyway. So I wasn't finna just go to Red Lobster because everybody else was going to Red Lobster for seafood boils, if that makes sense. Because it's not nothing that I jump up and go spend my money on anyway. But like, no, if y'all pay attention, it's almost like either one or two things. They sold it to somebody who looked like me, because it's done, it's through, right? Or either they wanted they did the Mr. Tenderism thing and they wanted to run it. They wanted to let somebody who looked like me run it, to get it back jumping again. But child, it didn't work. It ain't working. It didn't work. And in my hearts of our hearts, like, no, it's it's on its way out, I fear. And like the boils was a great idea, and I'm sure they brought in a little money, but like nothing was going to, if that makes sense. And I'll take it a step further. I went to Red Lobster a long time ago. I don't remember when it was, but it was recent enough to mention it. Um, I remember when I left there, I remember thinking, damn, my meal was kind of pricey. Does that make sense? And I'm gonna tell you like this, cause I have eaten at Red Lobster many a times, plenty of times. But like for me, I can always tell when I've been overpriced, or I mean I'm being overcharged. Listen, it's another who else was like that? Target. Target too. You know what I'm saying? Like one time I was at Target and I was looking at something that I thought was a little too expensive, if that makes sense. And Forever 21 has started doing that too. I just noticed that when places start overcharging, they finna go out of business. Or, like they close or one thing about Target, I don't think Target is finna go out of business, but I don't think they got it like they used to, if that makes sense. Yeah, no, truth is. Because if they did, why would they be overcharging me? You know? Um, and it's just something that I noted. It's just something that I noted. Just something that I noticed. When companies start doing stuff like that, it's just not looking so good for them. Truth is. But like, yeah, sure. I feel like Red Lobster is one of them places. It's almost gone, y'all. And them boys wasn't finna be able to save it. So like, I don't know. We just gotta be real, smart about our money for real because yeah. Sometimes it doesn't come available and it doesn't come up for sale until it ain't, For instance, I tell y'all all the time that TV is in the dumps because I mean that. It is. It's changing. I've been noticing that for years. Years and years and years. Y'all hold on.
Okay, now listen. I tell y'all all the time that TV is in the dumps. You know, it is. It's going downhill. It's changing. They trying to save it, but not really. You know, I don't even think they trying to save it. I think they just realize it is what it is, you know? So all of this stuff is starting to run its course. Now, with that being said, remember they was making an announcement that this one and that one was bidding to own BET and stuff like that. And I was like, for what? You know, like, it just really seemed like a waste. Like, right now would not be a smart time to buy no damn network. Like, it just depends. Listen, it really depends. But like 9 times out of 10, if they selling it, it's not doing so well. But I will say this: I think it depends on the network. I or a Lifetime. Lifetime might be the only one really doing really well right now. You know. And maybe, I won't say the only one. Some of them probably still are. I can imagine. But y'all know what I'm saying. I'm just saying for people who look like that, and that don't go for just TV. That go for anything. We gotta just be careful now because, yeah, it's for sale. It is. It's for sale. It's gonna be for sale. And mark my words, like when it starts being for sale, yeah, that shit ain't worth nothing no more. You know. So that's why, it is what it is. And that's another thing too. With TV in the dumps right now, where does everybody think sports is headed? Because that's weird too. Like, that's weird right now too. Nobody really knows where they could watch the games at. It's like here, there, everywhere. It's all over the place. I think people know, like, yeah. I feel like, what's that saying? The end is near. Yeah, the end is so close as far as TV and entertainment and the way we get our entertainment and stuff, y'all. Truth is, truth is, shit, if y'all can't put it on these cell phones, y'all gonna be out of there, in a minute. Yeah, truth is. Why y'all think Country Wayne popping the way he is? He popping the way he is because he didn't figure out how to get on people's cell phones. Shoot, just is what it is. The main device that is mainly gonna be in everybody's hands. But it's a lot. Cause even as I was talking to y'all, like an app is cool too, but that's not necessarily the answer to be the end all to be all either. It's not. Like, do 50 Cent have an app? I don't even think 50 Cent have an app. You know. For real. I don't think they look like, for instance, Zeus. I think Zeus does really well. But I think it's another reason why Zeus don't have that much competition. Yeah, no, because I'm the type of person, I don't like all of that. I don't like no whole lot of apps. So y'all gonna have to figure it out. They're gonna have to get an app where I can watch every single thing or I'm just not watching it. For instance, I don't have Zeus. Why? I don't have Zeus because Zeus haven't gave me a reason to subscribe. Yeah, not one. Not one. I have never got into baddies enough to subscribe, bad boys enough to subscribe, Jocelyn stuff. Like, their shows just don't.
interests me enough, to subscribe. Now we'll say this Chris Shondam show did. Yeah, truth is, if they would have kept doing something with Krishan them, I probably would have subscribed to Zeus. Yeah, no, I'm telling you now. Whether, they would have, like, even the Auntie Them's podcast, none of that shit. None of that shit, And with Krishan them show, they didn't give it life long enough. When you got something good, you supposed to breathe life into that, you know? And like right now, uh, they should have been up on a contractual agreement to like film and get along and bring Zeus along, to their life. It is what it is. Like, to me, in my honest, personal, humble opinion, Zeus dropped the ball with Blueface and Krishan. They should definitely still be on Zeus. It just is what it is. If they had them on there, I would be on there. But like, no, Zeus ain't never gave me no reason to subscribe. You know, like do what I need to do to get Zeus Network. Never, not one reason. Um, but that don't mean that I won't be a future subscriber. That just means that I haven't yet. I haven't had, they haven't gave me any kind of content to feel like I want to subscribe to. But I will say this: Blueface and Krishan is extreme. Man, they are. Yeah, no, they dropped the ball with them. Uh, that's they are. Who they remind me of? Black China and Rob. No, they lost they Black China and Rob. It just is what it is. Now here it is, and y'all know I don't like to talk like it can't never happen, cause y'all know I'm not like that. I believe, yeah, I could fly. Yeah, shout out to that. Truth is, like, no, like, all things through Christ, not some, not half, not a little. He said all. So shout out to that. But like, no, like, he lost his Black China at Rob. It just is what it is. If I was the owner of Zeus Network, I wouldn't have never let Christian or Blueface go. Okay, now it just is what it is. They are entertaining. They bring in the money. Okay? Child, but you know how that go. Child, you know how that goes too. Like, I can only imagine. Child, can you imagine? Like, imagine making somebody like Krishan and Blueface like the stars of your network. I imagine they probably like hard to work with. They probably like will be some headaches sometimes. Probably make you feel like you finna have to toss the show. You know, threaten them with lawsuits, them threatening you with lawsuits. Like, it's probably a lot. So yeah, I can see it. But it is what it is. Shoot, when if somebody just, like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, if they hot, they just hot. I don't know what to tell you. Um, like, if they, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, if they, in other words, if they make good TV, they make good TV. And then I'll take it a step further. Shoot, while I'm sitting here thinking about it too, you have other people too. You know? Shit. You have other people too. Like, for instance, that are TV gold. So, like, Nene. Cause I do, and I could be wrong, but it do seem like at one point Nene was around Zeus Network. Like, why not have Nene on Zeus? Can Zeus not afford Nene? Like, is Nene do Nene? I mean, I can imagine Nene probably Nene gonna get a coin now, but like what? Like, I don't understand why Zeus couldn't make a play with Nene. I'm talking about people that you already know as reality TV go. I mean, because you already got Johnson over there. But you mean to tell me you couldn't make nothing happen with Stevie J? Um, Mimi? Hell, I'll take it a step further. Shit. I mean, listen, I ain't trying to, build nobody's stuff up, but I'm just saying, get the coin, okay? Get the coin for real. You know why why I say out here to get, because, yeah, it won't be long, like I said. Things is changing, people attention is changing, and, like, it's just not a lot of stuff that people are paying attention to, okay? So, like, in this business, you better know. Yeah, no, truth is, you need to know that you know that you know that you know. But anyway, y'all, I didn't mean to go that long on none of these topics, but I'm glad I did. And so shout out to that. But anyway, yes, y'all, yes, y'all. It's your girl Shay Renee. I came, I saw, I conquered. I was gonna kick it with y'all. Actually just a little while longer, but man, I'm chilling. I guess I'ma turn it in. Well, not really. I'm gonna still be up for a little while longer. Not too much longer though, yeah. But yeah. I enjoyed myself. I had a funky good time with y'all. I always do, y'all. That's why I'm always here. It is what it is. Y'all know I'm supposed to be on vacation, and I am. So shout out to that. But yeah, I needed to do this live. So anyway, this is politicking hour slash vacation. This is vacation politicking hour. Um, Truth is, or let me just say, it's politicking hour with a twist. How about that? Because I'm on vacation, y'all. But listen, I tell y'all all the time. If the stories come on with it, I am too. So shout out to that. And some of this stuff just can't wait like that. So it is what it is. And seeing Clarissa Shields go toe to toe with 50 Cent, it just couldn't wait like that. And I'm like, yeah, nah, Pap ain't finna, he just gonna let her just chrome herself, just, yeah, nah, truth is, he just letting her just do it to herself, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Pap trying to probably see if he gotta add up and subtract his little boo thing, but I will say this, sometimes people get away with cheating because people can think that, oh, we got two kids together, we got this or we got that, and, we got properties or, just different reasons. I love him. I love her. Um, People just stay for different reasons. Mainly to me, if you ask me, they because they feel like they in too deep, and in my hearts of our hearts, I think Papoose might think that, especially because not you was running around trying to make your wife mad. Not you running around publicly trying to make your wife mad.
Yeah, baby. So, yeah, baby. So I know that's eating him up right now. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure that part out alone. Okay. Clarissa got him. She got him. Baby, she got him like the man. You know, she got him like a woman. You know, usually women be having to deal with that type of stuff. Like, oh my God. Like, man, like, they gonna call me stupid. You know, they gonna think I'm so stupid, which is not funny. I'm not laughing at nobody pain, y'all. I'm just saying this is the type of things that people deal with. And make sure I hit the like button. It's the type of thing that people deal with when they dealing with infidelity. Child, but it is what it is. I don't know what to tell these people besides keep their head up, chest out. It is what it is. As far as Clarissa goes, I think Clarissa gonna be okay. You know, she don't look like she been crying. You know, so maybe, just maybe, you know, um, Papoose is getting his Rashida. You know, shit, maybe Papoose get his Rashida on right now. You know, shit. Papoose probably got his notepad out, writing up another disc. Got Clarissa feeling out confident or whatnot, whatnot. Cause I will say she don't look like she been crying. Although she looked like she definitely you know, got time to scuffle. Okay. Scrape and scramble on this old here internet that Diddy left her. I tell you that. Yeah, now she definitely look like she got time. She look like Papoose and allowed her some, you know, gave her some. Shoot, I can hear him now. But I need some space. Or I'll talk to you later. Or however that was. Child. If he was already out of town, I know Clarissa said, hot damn, this is crazy. Like Clarissa knows this is crazy. Um, Birthday trip and stuff I probably already paid for, booked. Flights. Yeah, like this man is playing around with they laying around. And he didn't let him too. Yeah. Oh, 50 Cent didn't let him too. He didn't let him book the flights and holiday. He knew he had something for Clarissa ass. AKA Papoose. Shit, both of them. Both of them. And I think if Clarissa would have just like, you know, I don't think it would have got like this. I don't. I think he would have eventually found another way to get at Papoose. Because our boy said he been trying to he was trying to spare Clarissa. And I kind of believe that. I do. At the end of the day, I do think his feelings was hurt that Clarissa cut him off. You know, I do. He do seem, you know, a little messed up about getting cut off. You know, not too bad. But I think the average man, you know, would have kept it clear. Because the average man, he always on some, It's all good, cause you know he gonna try to keep it G in case maybe there's a later. He hoping y'all argue or whatnot, right? He get a phone call cause y'all done got into type ish. And so like, yeah, overall, I don't think he wanted to, you know, completely cut his friend off, but he kind of ended ugly. Him and Clarissa Shields, they kind of ended ugly a little bit. So it is what it is. But long story short, they've been sitting on this information on Clarissa's ass, and child, they done pulled it out. Now they done pulled it out like slabs right before this girl birthday. Right before this girl birthday, 50 Cent is, man, boy, he crazy. He crazy and he calculated. He did it right before her birthday. Boy, why he didn't do it right before his birthday? Sure, she could have, I don't know, limited them gifts or something. But then two people saying that boy is 50 Cent homeboy, and I'm like, okay, well, in that case, it's like, yeah, he getting her back for his friend too, allegedly. Either way it goes, Clarissa is a out. It just is what it is. Seemingly, she seemed like an op. 50 Cent don't mess with her like that. Like she keep talking about he brought her to his event and he brought her to his event and he brought her to his event. But now I'm starting to think, because it's something she said about that event that made me just wonder. Now I'm starting to think like, Clarissa, it was all part of the plot. He brought you to the event for one reason or another. Who knows what it was, but it wasn't because 50 Cent was fanned out. And you trying to make it seem like that's what it was, and it wasn't. I think it was simply because these people been playing chess with your ass. So now you talking about you gonna sue 50 Cent, baby, listen. You make sure you go and get fitted for your suits, baby, because yeah, I feel like yeah. He a businessman. People keep, and this is the thing. It's not like 50 Cent can't be sued, and it's like not like nobody can't win, but it's almost like to me. It's like okay, to me, threatening. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. I'm almost finna go. But it's like threatening. Y'all got 10 minutes. Bitch, I got 10 more minutes. But like no, for real, in all seriousness and BS to the side, threatening to sue 50 Cent, right? To me, it's like threatening to sue Tasha K. And I know it sounds crazy because it's almost like, oh my God, are you really putting Tasha K on the same level as 50 Cent? Yes, I will. As far as like, I feel like they kind of, how can I put it? Even if they're not like fully informed as far as lawsuit goes, I just feel like they kind of know how they work a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they know how they work a little bit to where um they're what's the word? They're cautious. Does that make sense? In other words, they're already cautious about what they putting out. That's one. Two, I feel like they got lawyers on speed dial. I don't know. I can't explain it. Like I said, it's not like you can't sue them and you can't win. I definitely feel like anybody can be sued and beat. But it's just like it don't hit like that. Does that make sense? Like I can't explain it, but if she said she was gonna sue Blueface, I might be a little worried for Blueface, because like I said, Blueface seemingly don't take care of his business for real. He seemingly just be letting people sue him, and he never follows up, and that's how they end up winning. He seemingly doesn't seem like he take care of his business for real. But 50 Cent? No, 50 Cent seemed like if his lawyers get something about a lawsuit at 8:05, they'll be responding by 9:10. Fuck you talking about? Like, what? Curtis Jackson, type ish. I mean, it just is what it is. I just feel like everybody, I just feel like it's levels to this ish. Does that make sense? It just is. I feel like it's levels to the game. It's levels to some of these people's celebrity, okay? Some of these people ain't to be messed with. Try Benzino. I tell you to try that before you try 50 Cent. It just is what it is. But we're going to have to see, you know. But again, I think Clarissa A could either be pump faking or B, she might not have a strong case, but who knows? Who knows? Because he probably might have really did, put his foot in his mouth with this one, but I don't know. Because Fitzsimmons is one of them people where I definitely think he's educated about lawsuits. I do. One, because he sues people, and two, because he's been sued before, and people have won against him. So to me, it's almost like Tasha K and Cardi B. Shoot, y'all think Tasha K haven't learned nothing? Of course she have. If she didn't, then where's everybody else? Where's everybody else win besides Cardi B's? Exactly. Shit, cause it ain't that easy no more. She know what she doing this time. Now again, I don't think that makes her invincible. Hell no, and I don't think 50 Cent is either. But I just feel like, man, you gotta you listen when you dealing with a high profile gotta meet high profile. Clarissa probably ain't never needed no real high profile attorneys. The attorney she need to play ball with 50 Cent, she probably ain't even retained yet. Yeah, nah, truth is. The one she talking about, yeah, she might have to change him. Yeah, like some of these, like, cause man, listen, shit, you know, because if you still thinking, oh, I'm gonna win because I'm right, then you got another thing coming. Cause life don't even work like that. Like you can be right all day and still lose. Because yeah, this is America. This is America. All you got to do is be the poor person. The poor person and the less educated and the less knowledgeable, and the one that don't know how to, juke the system. It just is what it is. See, some of these people really know people, you know. Um, yeah, now truth is some of these people don't be just talking. Shoot. Like, remember all them people that was in court? All them people was in court telling y'all how powerful Diddy was. And that's how Diddy was able to get away with the things that he got away with. And he still got away with a lot. And y'all still question his power? And the people that was victimized, we still questioning that? That's crazy to me, you know. Child, but to me that just go back to that old school saying, some people just don't want to get it. You know, some people just play dumb. Some people just don't want to get the point because they going against it or whatever, you know. Child, truth is. Child, but yes, it's your girl Shay Renee, and I came, I saw, I conquered, I had fun with y'all. And if anything pop out, just know I'm coming back. Other than that, I'm gonna have to go get comfortable, y'all. Everybody have enjoy their Sunday. And yeah, I'll see y'all on my next video. Hit the like button. Bye, y'all. I'm out.